Friends, today I'm coming up with a third lecture in the series of must-know philosophical terms for UPSC students. As I have told earlier also, I have identified about 116 terms which are very, very critical for philosophy students in UPSC. Uh, I earlier also told that while giving various lectures in philosophy, mentoring philosophy students, I realized that they lack the knowledge of these terms and therefore they are not able to comprehend the lectures well, or also they are not able to understand notes, books, etc. well. Not only understanding and comprehending lectures and this thing, books, etc., but also if they know the meaning of these terms and they use it frequently, because these are examiner friendly terms, examiner favorite terms, so they will be able to fetch good marks also in their actual exam. So therefore, in a series of lectures, 10 to 12 lectures, I am going to explain the meaning of these terms. Two videos I have already come out with earlier. Now this is third one, which explains about 5 to 6 new terms, which was in the list, my list of the important terms. So let me explain those terms. Uh, I will share my notebook so that I can explain these terms. Today, what I am taking up is about 4 or 5 very important terms which are used in philosophy, particularly in Western philosophy. First is a priori, then it's a posteriori, and then we have analytic judgments, and then we have synthetic judgments, and then finally we come to synthetic a priori judgments. So these terms, because mainly these terms belong to epistemology of Western philosophers, we should understand, to understand their theory of knowledge. Epistemology means theory of knowledge. I have already explained earlier. Uh, well, so let us start with first term and then we'll come up with this. So a priori, basically, if we see, a priori and a posteriori, these are terms mainly used in epistemology, that is theory of knowledge in philosophy, uh, for describing how knowledge is gained, how knowledge is gained. So this is what these terms describe basically. Now, a priori says, these are again, I will tell you Latin terms. So because first their etymological meaning we should understand. So Latin terms, which means uh, a priori means from the earlier. This is their literal meaning, from the earlier. So basically, knowledge or reasoning that exists independently of experience. It is based on logic, definitions, or inherent truths. So this comes in a priori knowledge. A priori knowledge or judgment means knowledge or reasoning that exists independently of experience. It is already based on logic, inherent in truths, already it's contained in the definition itself. And a priori literally means from the earlier. For example, the knowledge regarding, for our statement, if we make all bachelors are unmarried. So if we say all bachelors are unmarried. This is a priori because it doesn't require any kind of experience. And this is true by definition because bachelor itself contains the unmarried characteristics. So basically, this is a priori knowledge. Now, what is a posteriori? If we a posteriori, now this is again Latin term. Now this means from the later. So literal meaning is from the later. Now this is knowledge derived from experience or observation. So this is a new knowledge basically. This is not contained in the statement or in the definition, etc. So for example, the sky is blue. This is knowledge derived from experience. Or water boils at 100 degrees centigrade. So this is empirical knowledge gained from experience. It is not contained in the statements or in the definition itself. So this is a posteriori. Now, what is then analytical? Now again, let us analytic and synthetic. What is analytic? Again, these are the terms used in philosophy to classify propositions based on how their truth is determined. So analytic judgments or synthetic judgments are the propositions based on how the truth is determined. So what is analytic? Analytic propositions are true by virtue of their meaning or definition of their terms, but true by virtue of their meaning or definitions of the terms. So if we remember, this appears to be somehow same to a priori. So a priori by and large is analytic. For example, here also same example will run. All bachelors are unmarried. So this is analytic statement as well. So this is a priori statement as well as analytic statement. So analytic statements or analytic judgment often aligns with a priori knowledge. Now, what is synthetic? Now, synthetic, if we see, what is synthetic knowledge or synthetic judgment? They require external experience or observation to determine the truth. So basically, they are based on experience or external observation. For example, the cat is on mat. Cat is sitting on mat. So this has to be observed. The cat is sitting on mat. Now this needs to be observed. This cannot be by definition or by containing in the same sentence, it cannot be obtained. So again, if we remember, these typically connect to a posteriori knowledge. So synthetic judgments connect to a posteriori knowledge. So basically what we understand, a priori judgments are analytic, a posteriori judgments are synthetic. Now, then what are the basically synthetic a priori judgments? Because again, I mean, we understand the Western philosophy, we have read somewhere, or the students who might have already gone through the Western philosophy. Now, what are the synthetic a priori judgments? Because till now, what we have seen, synthetic judgments are a posteriori and analytic judgments are a priori. So, what are synthetic a priori? Are there any synthetic a priori judgments? Now, this was the real main challenge before Kant, one of the very, very important philosophers as far as UPSC is also concerned, otherwise also. Because before Kant, there were rationalists. They believed in a priori knowledge. Then there were empiricists. So, a rationalist, Descartes, Spinoza, Leibniz, they believed in a priori knowledge. Then there were empiricists, Locke, Berkeley, and Hume. They believed in a posteriori knowledge, that is synthetic. Now, Kant says that synthetic knowledge is new knowledge, but it's not certain. A priori knowledge is certain, but it's not new knowledge because it's already contained in the statement or sentence or definition. So he says that real knowledge is, if it is new, that is synthetic, and if it is very true or 100% accurate, then certain, that is a priori. So for him, for Kant, real knowledge is synthetic a priori, which is new also, which is certain also. So then he basically he was a meeting ground between, on the one hand, rationalist, on the other hand, empiricist, and he says that yes, synthetic a priori judgments are possible in maths and science. Maths and science. Now, what he says, for example, in maths, he gave an example. Let us say in maths, 7 plus 5 is equal to 12. He says that this is new knowledge and certain knowledge also, because 12 is not contained in 7 and 5, and therefore, or 7 plus 5. So, this is new knowledge, and therefore, this is synthetic a priori knowledge. Similarly, in physics, in science, let us say he gave a statement of causation. For example, every event has a cause. He says that this is not knowledge based on experience. This is not knowledge which is a priori. So therefore, this knowledge also is synthetic a priori. So basically, his final view was that in mathematics and science, synthetic a priori knowledge is possible. So this is what today we have understood. What is a priori, what is a posteriori, what is synthetic, what is analytic, and what is finally Kant's philosophy of synthetic a priori judgments. While studying in detail in Kant, because you can see my lectures on my YouTube channel, I have already covered a large number of philosophers in Western philosophy. So there further details will be available, because this is so I thank once again all the viewers